with Super Chat. Thank you so much, Polar Opposite, Dan, and Super Sticker. Gosh, thanks, Moss. And I'm sorry to hear that you're having a migraine. You're gonna sit this one out. That's totally fine. Well, welcome everyone. Welcome to our Bipolar channel. I'm Jess Curtis. I'm the creator here. And thank you so much for 7,000 subscribers. I just hit 7,000 like a couple days ago. So that's really cool. There's also a poll in the chat to start us off. So I'll let you get started with that. And then I'll go back and sort of check in on it. But yeah, so I'm Jess, and I have Bipolar 1, and I've been doing these lives on my channel just starting this year, but the channel is about 5 years old. Been enjoying doing videos for a while and getting a little more serious. I think I have a hair in my mouth. So this is the 10th live. I couldn't believe it when I started counting them up. So welcome to the 10th live. Thank you for so much for making these a success. And like I said, I have bipolar 1, and just like a little bit about me. I was diagnosed in 1999, so it's been 27 years. And yeah, I had like a major Manic episode when I got diagnosed with psychosis, and then I went through about 10 years of not doing so great. And part of the reason I do all of this work and advocacy work is because I don't want anyone to suffer the way I did. Now, I understand there are people who have bipolar more severely and less severely, so it's on a spectrum. But for me, I've finally found medication that worked after those first 10 years, and just learned better. Oh, there's an echo. And then I don't know. I'm not doing anything differently. And I have my computer muted. Is it still going on? Oh, you're hearing it doubling? I'm gonna look on my phone really quick. I'm not sure. Ooh. Trying to think what I could do. Brian, if you can think of something that I could do to help this, I'm not sure. It did look different today. Like, YouTube is always changing things, and like, it did look differently. Yeah, I just checked. I have my computer. I don't have two mics on. Brian, if you could come up and see if there's something I'm missing, I would really appreciate it, because I'm not sure. I'm just going to keep going for now, and hopefully Brian will be here in just a minute and maybe figure. No, I'm not playing the device. I'm not playing on a second device that my mic could be picking up, because it is muted. Yeah. So Brian, if you could please come upstairs. Thank you. Yeah, I can't turn it on and off because then the live would be gone completely. Are you coming up here, Brian? I really hope so. So anyway, I'm going to get into questions and things. I'm just a little worried about the chat being. In the meantime, if you could please like the live and subscribe if you haven't. Come on in. It's the same setup as usual. I have the computer muted. That is not even plugged in. Mic's not on, okay. It's only through the phone. Yeah, what does it sound like? Just doubling, like you're talking, but then it sounds like audio from several seconds ago is also. I don't know, because I don't ever do this sort of thing. Well, yeah, I'm just doing it the same way I always do. Wondering if restarting the live, I don't know if that's. Could you bring your phone up here, please? I turned off the mic and then turned it back on the live. Yeah, I turned it off. Does it sound better now? Sorry this is happening, guys. I don't know. Can you hear me now? Because I turned it back and now back on. Man, YouTube is clunky. I'm sorry, guys. Yes, you're hearing me again? Now it's good? You hear me? Is it doubling still? Okay, they're saying it's better now. I don't know. I just turned it on and off on the live itself. Okay, great.
Good, okay.
Here we go. Before it was glitching. Now it doesn't seem to be glitching, but the sound was weird. Oh, now you're hearing other voices again? Oh, you might have just heard Brian. I don't know. I'm so sorry, guys. There's still an echo. I don't know what to do. There's nothing I can do at this point. I hope you want to stay, but maybe you won't. I don't know. There's nothing else I can do. There's nothing there's nothing I can do at this point. Okay, I'm just gonna keep going. Sorry, this is really frustrating. And it's frustrating for me as well. I'm very happy that it's not glitching this time. Do what you will. But anyway, you can start putting in questions if you'd like. What else was I going to say? I just wanted to see like how you guys are doing right now, how you're doing today. I want to take a look at the poll. Hopefully you've had a chance to say how you're feeling in the poll I put in. So most of you today are feeling stable. That's great. I'm also feeling stable, 57%. Next is like having a mixed episode, 21%, 14% feeling manic or hypomanic, 7% depressed. And however you're feeling, I'm glad you're here. Yeah, polar opposite said stable for once. Hear Brian coming back.
Yeah, I was just saying,
They're saying it's doubling again.
if you're watching it on here, it's probably going through the mic of this and your phone at the same time, even though you
But there's no sound.
I understand you have your sound turned off.
Well, I do it every time.
Well, we might want to try and turn this on and just we can turn the volume down off on this.
Okay, we'll plug it in.
I'll try, yeah.
I can do it. Do you know how to do it? You plug it in right on the side right here. You have to unplug. Yeah.
There we go. And then let's turn the volume all the way down.
Or mute it.
Yeah, you can mute it.
Is that any better, guys?
That's muted there.
I don't think that should make any difference.
But you might, because you just turned this on, you might need to go into your microphone settings to make sure it's on this microphone and not this one.
I don't know how to do that. Maybe here. Sorry, I can't really be doing this right now.
Yeah.
Everyone's just gonna leave.
Well,
do you know what to do? Because I don't.
No, I can try and figure it out, but
because usually I'm like in a different program when I can check. Maybe you can do that while I'm talking.
Okay, yeah. Let me get the mouse and
I have to use the mouse.
Oh, okay. I can't do anything without the mouse.
Okay, I'll give you the mouse in just a second.
All right.
Rudran Shrivastava said, I just want to get employed. I've been unemployed for 2 years now. Last time I was manic, I resigned my job. From then, I am normal. Yeah, working can definitely be hard with bipolar disorder. I've mostly been able to keep working, but there was a time when before I was on the meds I'm on now, so I was not doing very well, and I had to leave a job, and I quit my job. I didn't have another job, but I was sort of like freelancing and editing, and I was able to sort of get by, and it was a hard time because, it's really hard. I mean, even if, I don't know if you're in the US, but like, I know getting on disability can be really hard. And a lot of times you have to have an attorney, and even then, I know it takes a lot of time. So that can be difficult. Are you about done?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know that there's anything else I can do.
Maybe you guys can tell me if it's any better. I don't think that should make any difference because I have my computer muted.
Yeah.
Sorry, this is really frustrating.
I'll go downstairs.
Okay, thank you. But like I said, if you're here, if you could please like the live. I know you might not actually like it right now, but we're trying very hard to fix whatever the problem is. I just want to tell you a little bit how I've been doing as well. So I don't know about you guys, but I have a really hard time with traveling and with my bipolar and with having symptoms and like getting anxious and getting it can, cause issues, just the stress before the travel because of like getting ready to do it. And so I've been having some extra anxiety, and I don't think it's quite as bad as it usually is when I'm getting ready to travel, but it is there. So with my doctor, we thought, like, let's increase the antipsychotic just a little bit and see if it will help with that anxiety. So I increased my Seroquel or, quetiapine about a quarter, not last night, but the night before, to see if like that anxiety could lessen a bit. And just because like anxiety can lead to hypomania, for a lot of us, and definitely for me. So I did that, and then last night I was like eating so much, like I was like, wow, I'm definitely feeling the effects of this higher Seroquel. And so last night I just went back to my regular dose, which wasn't that much lower, but I went back, and then today I slept in so late. It like really just hit me strongly. So I'm kind of dragging today. Like I slept, usually I get up around like 7 a.m. and I slept until 10. And even then it was like hard to get up. So I am dragging a bit, and I am having, this anxiety still. And I've been trying to like meditate and exercise and like do other things that help to relieve stress. But I just have this extra stress, and, it's not going to really go away until I go on this trip in a couple of weeks. So I'm just trying to deal with that. So let me know what you guys are dealing with, or if you have questions about bipolar. And if I don't know the answer, we can definitely like crowdsource in the chat and see if we can get you some answers. Okay, I'm just trying to see if I missed anything. Okay, the polar opposite says traveling in the airport is super disorienting for me. I've missed so many flights in the past 2 years. Had a panic attack, missed a flight before I got medicated. Yeah, I'm flying out. So it's weird. Like, I'm flying out, and it's a work trip. But then my family's joining me after the work trip portion. And we're going to have like a family vacation for the last half. But I'm going to be gone in total for 8 days, which may not sound like a lot, but like I don't normally travel for that long. Like, even if we go on a family vacation, it's usually no more than like maybe 5 or 6 days, like not even a week. Just because I don't love traveling. I'm not that good at traveling. My bipolar really doesn't like when I travel. So, yeah, so I have to fly out, and I get kind of anxious about, well, I just get anxious about all of it, honestly. Like flying, driving, anything. All right, let me see here. Oh, and Moss sent floating heart for 10 joules. Thank you. It's really nice of you. I don't know if I've missed anything. I know it's been a lot of talk about the audio. Okay, and Abdismod, that's not what it is. Sorry. I commented to you when I was in my Manic episode. Thank you for reminding me to call the doctor. I am medicated and stable now. That is fantastic. I'm so glad. I think I remember. Yes, I remember this. You commented on a video, I believe, and you were saying you were having some trouble, and I was just like, well, just call your doctor because I can't really, like, I can help and give advice in certain situations, but if someone is having a manic episode, like, I really can't do too much. But yeah. Oh, I just hit mute on in a different place. I hope that maybe helped. I don't know. Do you have your phone?
Yeah, I still do it.
No, but I just hit a mute above here in this tab.
Is it working?
No, I'm asking you. Sorry, I'm a bit frustrated, and I was a little frustrated before this. Okay. I'm just trying to make sure I didn't miss any questions up above. I think we've all been too preoccupied with other stuff. Okay. Olivia Meep, I have type 1. Do you get any hallucinations during episodes? I have, but I haven't for a long time. So, in my first episode, I'm trying to think if any was actual hallucinations. Yes, I did. So I was having delusions and hallucinations. The type of hallucinations I was having were visual. So I wasn't having any auditory hallucinations, but in that, are you back?
Yeah, it's still happening.
Okay. I don't know what that is.
This here. I know you got it on your phone, but can you turn this off because your laptop's mic might be picking it up? That's all I can figure.
I can turn it off for a second, but it's just going to be very hard for me to do the live if I am.
Like this.
Okay, listen right now, and I'll open it back up. Man, I thought the worst thing would be it glitching again, but hey, something new now, something worse. Fun. Okay, I'm just sort of getting it ready in case I can reopen it. So yeah, I was having visual hallucinations. I had been without sleep. I think a lot of times when we're having these like delusions and hallucinations, it's because of the bipolar, but it's also more so because we're not sleeping. And anyone who is not sleeping can eventually start going into psychosis. So I hadn't been sleeping for days, and I was having a hallucination that I like had X-ray vision, like I was looking in the mirror in the night, and I thought I could see like the bone structure in my face, and that whole thing. And that was interesting. Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. It has to be just.
Able to turn the live off and turn on maybe a reset will just help.
I don't want to keep talking about it at this point, so we're just gonna have to keep going. If you want to stay, I love it. If not, I understand. So yeah, that was like my big visual hallucination that I've had. Also, in another episode, I was seeing things. I thought I was seeing demons. My delusions and hallucinations tend to be sort of like scary and like demons or the devil related. Yeah. I don't know if it's because of my Catholic upbringing, but maybe. Olivia said most of my hallucinations are auditory, some visual and tactile, usually only during mania. Yeah, I know you can have hallucinations and illusions, psychosis during depression as well, but I haven't had any, in the same way, like these visual hallucinations or, kind of these stronger delusions. Okay. I don't know why YouTube has to keep changing things. It's really frustrating. Um, Rudran was saying I have bipolar 2. I was first diagnosed in 2018 when I was 20 years old. Now I've accepted my fate. Didn't skip my medications for 4 years. Okay. Well, that's good. It can take a very long time to accept. I think it probably took me to like fully accept it and like really start taking care of myself and to even know I should do that and to do all the things. I was always taking medication except when I stopped. I did stop for a year, which I do not recommend, but I still wasn't like fully compliant. Like I was taking meds, but that was it. I wasn't even doing any of the lab work that I was supposed to do for those first 10 years. I wasn't fully on board and I hadn't accepted it. And I was very secretive about having bipolar, which, can be necessary for a lot of people. But I was trying to just kind of pretend I didn't have it and like, oh yeah, I'm taking pills every day, but I'm fine and I'm neurotypical and I don't have bipolar. But I did. I mean, obviously. And once I became more accepting of it, it just became a whole lot easier. I mean, it's never going to be all that easy, It's still a ton of work. I was just saying, I think on my Facebook earlier this week, like it's kind of a full time job just having bipolar. And yeah, it's rough. It's like, all right, I have to have this full time job that is bipolar. I also have another full time job. And I also, have my life and like everything else. So it can be hard. Let's see here. Yeah, Joel Cortez says I think my Catholic upbringing definitely had something to do with the way my hallucinations manifest. Yeah, I do think that. And I think because of that, I mean, anyone can believe whatever they want, like whatever religion or being spiritual. But for me now, that's why I've sort of like moved away from being religious. Well, that's one reason because it was too much kind of overlap and it was too confusing with when I would have delusions or hallucinations that were more religious. It just like it sort of like muddied the waters too much for me and I had to like separate it. I had to just sort of not be involved in a religion. Just made it easier for me. Yeah, people are saying like we're saying I became God once. Yeah, did it? Haven't we all? Like, I don't know if I ever had like a full on God delusion, or like I know people thought like they were Jesus Christ, things like that. I know that's definitely like a common thread in bipolar. Like people think, and I understand. How could you not think that, right? Because, like, if you're feeling so invincible at times and unstoppable, like, it would be very easy to make that jump to, like, well, I must be God. Like, why wouldn't I be, like, and if you're feeling like maybe you're making changes toward whatever it is and like you're having this effect on people that maybe it's not true, but it's easy to make that kind of a jump to being God and feeling like you're God. I said my first major psychotic episode helped end my attempts at living within Christianity. Yeah, I feel like it. I feel like it goes both ways though, because I know of people who have gone way more toward being religious and being either Christian or different religions, and they've sort of like jumped in, like gone all in on that, and even not necessarily like all in to the point where they think that that will heal them, which bipolar is a lifelong illness. Like it's not, maybe it'll help you, maybe it helps you cope, but it's not going to be like a day where like you can pray it away. It's like it's there for good. But then like others of us go towards like the other way where we kind of like leave religion altogether. It becomes too confusing and too much, or yeah, like if I have an illness that could make me think like I'm God, or make me think like the devil's after me, or something like that, it's like I just don't want to be involved. Like I just like want to step away from that completely. Um, yes, heaven is a heartbeat away. Hello, by the way, first of all. Um, you mentioned that you are a mom. If you're comfortable sharing, what is what is made more difficult because of bipolar? Do you find bipolar has complicated parenting? Well, anything that you're dealing with, like health wise or not health wise, can complicate parenting, right? So, yes, I think it definitely can make it more complicated. It's just like another thing, you know? So, I mean, it's complicated. It complicates pregnancy. It can complicate, being a parent at times. It's one more thing that stress can cause symptoms for. So, like, there's obviously stress involved in being a parent and just having all this extra stuff to do around like a child, and but it has also helped in some ways. And I think because I now have, I have this child who I'm bonded with and who I love so much, and I think it it brings more joy to my life in that way, and that can help with the bipolar because I'm having like a good experience, and that can help. But also, like, there's stress involved, so there's gonna it's gonna help and hurt. That's how I see it. I think just being honest, the first 5 years for me of having a child, it's really hard. It's really hard for anyone, bipolar or not. It's just, it's stressful. The child is very dependent on you, especially those first like 3 years, I would say. You can't really have like a strong relationship with the child yet, or, communication is hard. Um, so once she became more communicative and like a little more independent, it definitely made a world of difference for me. Amma said my father had severe bipolar, stayed deeply attached to prayers. He'd repeat the same one all day, every day. I suppose it helped him. It was annoying though. Yeah, I could see that. And you definitely hear about people who are very attached to prayer and can get, I suppose it could turn though. It could become too too much, or maybe stressful, especially if you are kind of expecting more out of it than you're going to get. I mean, I do think, like I was talking with a friend, like prayer can sort of be a form of meditation. I think that can be maybe helpful. But at the same time, if you're expecting a lot out of these prayers, that could be really heartbreaking. So, tough to say. Yeah, Devin says I had it in my head to go to church in a manic episode. I went 3 times, embarrassed myself by disrespecting customs by accident. I could see things like that happen. And I actually do remember, like, long, long time ago when I went to church when I was a child, there were some people that were drawn to the church who did seem like they had mental illness, and they weren't quite, they didn't quite fit in, or they were kind of doing things that were a little bit, uh, yeah, like disrespecting customs. That's a good way of saying it. And yeah, I mean, I could see that happening. But I would hope, I mean, it depends on the church, I suppose. I would hope they'd be very like understanding and accommodating. But I guess, it really depends on the church. Okay. Ruby John is saying I was manic in 2017. I decoded that government is tracking my activity. Whenever I opened Instagram or YouTube, it recommended things I talked about. Yeah. When I got back to normal, realized that's what social media does. But I could see that. I mean, that's like a pretty common delusion, right? To either think like the FBI is after you, the government's after you, or that you're working for the government or the FBI. I've definitely heard of that delusion many times. It's not one that I had. I think my delusions and hallucinations were like, I don't know, more basic. Like I wasn't that imaginative. I don't think. Like that's uh that's kind of sad, but probably true. Um, yeah, I love you guys are talking to each other. Sorry, I'm probably still not sounding great. I don't know. Let's see. Heaven is a heartbeat away said my loved one had some phrases he would repeat frequently during a manic or mixed episode to calm himself. I think he gives the person something to focus on when they realize things aren't right. Yeah, I could see that as well. That's not something I've done, but I could definitely see it like sort of having like a mantra or like something to focus on, like just to keep repeating. I could see that helping. I would more like listen to music and listen to the same song over and over again, not so much repeating it, but yeah, it's like a similar type thing. Um, what's the most funny delusion you've ever had and later laughed about it? Oh God. I was trying to think. I mean, I've definitely laughed with friends about like the way I was acting in mania, not necessarily like a delusion. And sometimes I feel like, am I like, is this wrong? Like, is this like, like inappropriate? But I don't think it is because sometimes if you can't laugh about these things, it's like you would be crying about it because it's embarrassing. But if you can laugh with friends about it, like it kind of makes you feel better and you were like all in it together because they were having to deal with you as well. Probably the funniest delusion was when so there were so many that weren't funny, but there's the one time it's just kind of funny because it's sort of like physical humor. Like I was in a bunk bed, I was on the top bunk, and I fell out of the bunk bed, and like I could have really hurt myself, but I didn't. And I thought the devil, like I thought I was pushed. I thought the devil pushed me out, was like trying to hurt me or kill me. And at the time, it was not funny at all. Like it was, I truly thought like, oh my God, he's after me. I didn't think he was just, I thought he had like, was trying to hurt me other times too. But that was like the biggest time because I fell out of this bunk bed. And like now I'm just like, that is so like embarrassing. Like, I don't know. I mean, I truly fell and I don't think I like propelled myself out, but I did like have this thought and I was, I did tell some people about it and that's like, it's like kind of funny, kind of cringy, kind of embarrassing. Um, yeah. Pokyu says, when was your last full manic episode? I tend to get this question a lot. It's been a long time. I'm very, very lucky that my meds. So the first 10 years, I was having like full mania all the time. Like, not, I mean, several times a year, and I would have depression as well. But then when I got on lithium, and I know it doesn't work for everyone, and it's can be controversial, but and Moss, if I see you're here, you don't, if you're not feeling well, please, you don't have to mod. It's okay. I can take care of it. I can try to take care of it. But anyway, so when I got on lithium, like full blown mania just stopped completely. And I don't know if that's a common thing, but I still have hypomania. I still have depression at times, but not nearly as often. And that was like 18 years ago that I probably had my last big manic episode. And I have a video. I'm trying to think. I think I can put it in the description for later. But it was called, I think it was called my last full blown manic episode. And it was pretty big, and I had psychosis and everything. And I was out of town when it happened, and I was at my brother's, and he didn't know what I was doing. I was, obviously acting very differently. So But that was the last really big one. Since then, I mostly have mixed hypomania. Once in a while, I'll have like pure, euphoric hypomania, but not usually. And then I'll have depression sometimes. But yeah, it's been a really long time. I'm so grateful for that. And then I still have episodes, but usually like maybe once or twice a year. I know some people, they're like, I have gone 7 years, completely stable. And I'm like, I am happy for you, but I don't think I can ever be like that. Like I said, bipolar's on a spectrum. I must have it more severely, or there just isn't a med that's like going to work that well for me. Because I try to do all the things too. Like I'm exercising all the time. I try to eat right. I try to lower stress, but I still have, I have stress in my life. I work and I have a daughter, and it's the way it is. But yeah, I have done much better for the last 18 years. Let's see. Oh, are people spamming? Great. Um, yeah, it says good to hear full mania is gone. Can be dangerous not just for yourself but other people. Definitely. I mean, that's why, full mania, people are like, well, like I miss it and all these things. And I just don't miss it, mostly because mine always got very destructive, like destructive to relationships, friendships, family relationships. I mean, I would be like so argumentative. Like I'd be having a good time one minute, and then the next minute I'm like saying horrible things to people that I would never say or do when I was stable. And it was hard for people to understand that, like, that wasn't you. Like, that was the bipolar. It's easier for me now to separate it, to think, like, okay, when I'm having an episode, that is the bipolar kind of talking. And I try to, like, be nice, be myself, my usual self, but it's very hard. And it's like the bipolar is taking control to a certain extent, and especially in full mania. And I do not miss that at all. I don't miss all the things that would happen. I mean, I barely graduated college because of mania, mostly, and also depression. It can be really hard to go to class if you're in mania or depression. And I was going through that a whole lot. I actually just put out a video about how, I met up with my French professor after 25 years after being in college. And it was like a really amazing experience. I'll put that in the description too if you guys haven't seen it yet. But she did a lot for me. And, I didn't have accommodations during college because I had no idea that was a thing. And my psychiatrist at the time did not say, hey, you should get accommodation. I just did not know. So I'm glad there's more awareness these days. But yeah, it was a super hard time during college. And I'm just so grateful I graduated. I had some professors who did try to help me out, even without having accommodations. All right. Let's see. Archon says, do people sometimes judge or make assumptions about your relationship with your significant other? Judgments about, I don't know if I know that word. How do you deal with rude or invasive questions? People are actually really cool most of the time. Like, if people ask me rude questions, like, I don't think it's ever been about my husband or about, my partner, like before we were married and stuff. I mean, I've only been public and like talking online about bipolar for like, I think 6 years, 5, 6 years, something like that. People are actually pretty cool most of the time. But if people do ask me like really invasive questions or rude questions, I usually either like ignore it or I'm just like not going to answer that, like that's because sometimes people ask questions that are rude, and I think it's more so like they're actually in an episode, like particularly like mania. And sometimes I can tell, sometimes I can't. But if it's like a really kind of like invasive or rude question, yeah, I might. I mean, I try not to be rude back, but at times I've been known to kind of pop off on people. Not often, but every once in a while, like you catch me on the wrong day. And if like you say something rude to me, I might say something rude back. Or I might give you like a really smart response. But like I said, it really doesn't happen that often. And I just don't even get rude questions much. Devin says you hold yourself still to expectations as if you don't have bipolar disorder. No, I don't. I still struggle with kicking the voice that says bipolar doesn't apply to me. I should be able to do things, as if I don't have bipolar disorder. I did do that in the beginning. I tried to, but I was like in such a bad place that I obviously wasn't doing it very, very well. But no, I've like fully accepted that I have bipolar. And if I want to live as well as I can, I have to take bipolar into account. And actually, well, I say that, but like earlier this year, I was I was trying to do more than I could, and that's because my husband Brian, you saw him a lot today. Um, so he had this really major surgery about a year and a half ago, and since then, it was a back surgery, and so now he is a little less mobile and like able to do things. He can still walk, he can still work, he can still do a lot, but he gets tired much more easily, and so he can't go to like as many events and things and like things for our daughter at times. And he really does a great job and tries very hard to still do a whole lot and probably does more than he should himself. But because of that, I started thinking, like, especially this year, I was like, I need to kind of be doing what I should do for her as well as like his part. And so I was trying to do it all. And since I was stable, I kept thinking, well, like, I can do this. Like, I can do everything because I'm stable, not thinking like this is adding too much stress. It's going to bring on bipolar symptoms, which it did. So I just wasn't like kind of rationing my energy. And I was like just doing all the things that were going to stress me out, like going to events where there are like tons of people around and like really hectic and like just doing too much of that. It's like I could do maybe one event like that every, I don't know, couple months or something. But I can't be doing that like every 2 weeks or whatever it is. And I was like, I can do all the things. And so then in March, I went into like a mixed hypomania episode. It lasted a really long time. I think also because the time change happened and spring starting and like, changing the circadian rhythms and the light, everything was different. So I really realized once again that I can't do it all and I have to take bipolar into account and I need more rest and I can't go to all these events and I can't do it alone either. Like if I'm going to be doing some of these events, I need to make sure that either Brian can come with me or a friend or something, just so it's not all on me. And so I've really tried to remember that I have bipolar disorder. Like, I shouldn't have to remember this. It should just be a given. And I need to really take care of myself first and foremost, and also not do too much. Like, the overextending is what ends up putting me into episodes more often than not. That's like the big issue for me. Let's see. Yeah, like Moss said in response as well. I have to remind myself I'm on disability for reasons. I do expect a lot of myself. And I think I do still expect a lot, but I need to also have those expectations, and then remember, like, I have bipolar disorder. I need to also rest. I need to also, like, take care of myself. And it is a constant struggle of figuring out, like, where's the line? Like, how much can I do safely? And I don't know exactly where that is. So that's the problem. And I don't want to not do certain things and miss out on things when I probably could do it. So it's always like figuring out where I'm at right now, how much other stress is in my life at the time. Maybe there's not that much going on outside of these activities, and then I can do them. But it's always like reassessing and like figuring out and asking questions of myself. Yeah, Joel Cortez says, when I thought I could just dismiss bipolar, life humbled me. Yep. Yep, definitely. I mean, I was humbled for those like 2 months in March and April that I could not kick this mixed hypomania. Like, it wasn't in the first few weeks, it was the worst, and then it got better, but it just wasn't going away. I was like, this is so frustrating, but it's also very, very humbling. All right. Yeah, Devin was saying, that's what I'm talking about. It should be a given, but I let it get forgotten, even though I know. Yeah. And I think, like I was saying, for a while, I was more so like pushing it away and thinking, like, I have to do everything. I have to be like the mom and the dad in certain situations, because if Brian can't come to this event, or if Brian can't like do whatever this one thing is, then I have to be there. I just felt like I have to always do it. And it's like, and I don't. I don't. I mean, what our daughter is going to remember, at least this is how I feel, and I hope this is true, is like how much we love her and how much time we spend with her one on one. And just because we can't go to every single event or every single outing, social event, I think she still knows how much, like, we just truly love her, spend time with her, spend one on one time with her. And I think that's more important. I hope. Let's see. All right. Pavan B. Samaga. I'm undergoing a little stress, competition, and always under pressure, improving myself. It's good, but I push myself too hard. Can you help me? I don't know if I can help you, but we can give you like some advice, maybe. I mean, I think I've had to realize where my limits are. And like for me, that might be like at work. I'm not trying to get a promotion. I'm not trying to like become a manager of other people. I know that that is not good for me. And I feel like I'm happy with where I've gotten, and I feel good about that. I'm proud of myself. But at the same time, like, I'm not pushing to like do something else. I'm just like, I'm good. And it took me a while to not keep feeling like I had to keep moving forward, like I had to keep moving up. And I think other people do too, because people at my work will say, like, oh, I'm surprised you haven't been promoted. And I'm like, I'm good. Like, I don't like, but not everybody feels that way. Not everybody has bipolar disorder. And I feel like I have to just be happy, like, with what I have to some extent. But I mean, sometimes it can be good to like be trying to improve yourself. It depends on what it is, right? But at the same time, like, I think it's really good to give yourself grace, realize how far you have come while having bipolar disorder. Let's see. Someone said, is there, Rudran said, is there a chance to never get full blown mania after experiencing it once? I mean, I would think there's a chance, but it's, I mean, maybe other people can speak to this, but I mean, I've definitely had it a whole lot more than once. I'm sure there are people who have experienced mania, full blown mania, and never had it again. There's going to be that experience out there. I think it's probably much more common to experience it more than once. That's just my guess based on like all the people I've known who have had, bipolar one. But, I mean, try to if you're on meds that you think are helping, that's great because that can be a bit of a obviously it took me like 10 years, but hopefully you've met with better doctors than I did, and you can try to take really good care of yourself, exercise, eat right, lower stress in whatever ways work for you, like maybe through exercise partially, but also maybe other ways like meditation, mindfulness, things like that. But I know for me, it's just like, it's never quite enough. Like, I'm still going to have some episodes. I am lucky, though, that I haven't had mania in a long time, but I also had it a whole lot those first 10 years. So it's just unfortunate, but, can't say that you'll never have it again, unfortunately. Um, yeah, Jeff Sanders. Hi, Jeff. My family, I had to put me in an inpatient center years ago. I was having psychotic episodes. I went off in the ER. Oh, someone sent me some like flower things. That's really cool. I need to see who that was. Went off in the ER, destroyed the room. Don't remember it, but my family does. I'm sure they do. I'm sure. I hope they're not like bringing it up all the time. Because I feel like my mom, this is not the same at all. But my parents, when it was like my first or second year of having bipolar, my parents moved and I was in college and I was living with them. So I moved with them. My mom will bring it up about how like I couldn't pack up my room. Like I don't even remember. Like I truly don't remember like her telling me to pack and me not doing it. Like I was not well for that time. So then apparently I just never did it and she had to do it. And so she like, that was like, 27 years ago. Yeah, she still brings it up. And that's not even like something that is like, if you had like destroyed a room, I could see that happening, definitely. But yeah, sometimes, your family, they remember it differently because like they weren't feeling the way you were feeling. They were just feeling, stable or like normal or whatever you want to call it. And so they're just like, oh my God, like you did this or you didn't do this. And like, we're going to like hold it over your head forever. Maybe, hopefully not. Hopefully not. Oh, Moss, you sent the tulips. Thank you. You're so sweet. You're the best. And also, like, Moss is modding today. I just want to say thank you so much. It makes such a difference. I know there can be kind of like creepy things that come into the chat or inappropriate things. And it makes such a difference to have someone modding. So, and Moss is just like such a good friend, like, amazing friend as well. Kevin says, "Oh my God, I have the same memory with my mom. Couldn't complete anything." Yeah. The thing is, like, it's hard for me to even feel bad because I truly don't remember. Like, I don't remember. It's so foggy. Like, I barely remember even being in that house before we were in the new house. Like, I remember living in that house growing up, of course, but like, not since I had bipolar. Like, I don't remember being there. And that house had horrible memories for me. So it's like, I'm glad I've forgotten a lot of it. Obviously, like, I don't need to get too far into it, but like a lot of us dealt with trauma growing up. Unfortunately, that's a thing for bipolar. You need to have some sort of genetic predisposition, but then trauma can have the bipolar emerge. And I do believe that's what happened for me. And so I have like horrible memories of living in that house before we moved. And then we moved, and it was like, ugh, okay, it still happened, but it's just good to be out of a place that has such bad memories. So, yeah, Devin said, I have memory of her telling me, but nothing of the event. Yeah. It's like, sorry, but I feel like in a way that's like good for us. Like, at least we don't remember the horrible event. Unfortunately, our family or friends have to remember it, and all we can do is like try to make amends and apologize, and we have to take responsibility even though we don't remember. Like, we did it, we must have done it, but yeah, it's a saving grace. It really is. Because trust me, I'm sure you have too. Like, I remember a lot of horrible things that I've done. I just don't remember. I mean, it was like a non-issue because I don't remember not packing my room. I don't remember like being told to pack it. You know, I mean, I feel like it's not. But like, yeah, in some ways, it is good to remember. If you do remember, like Moss said, she's glad, or they're glad they remember, like motivation to avoid repeating it. Very true. Yeah, I definitely remember some things. I just don't remember that thing. But let's see. Well, we're just about at time. I try to keep these just to an hour, like for everyone's mental health. I don't want to go on too long, but I appreciate everyone, especially with the audio issues. And if you haven't liked the live yet, please like it. I'd love if you subscribed. And it's good because if you subscribe, you can turn on notifications, and then you can, when I put out videos or lives, you can be notified. Devin says my ex-boyfriend had to tell me where to put every dish away when we unloaded the dishwasher so I could stay on task. Yeah, I could see that. I mean, bipolar really affects memory, like especially in episodes, and then also like the meds themselves. Like, I have memory issues from lithium. I do think it really like saved my life in some ways, but also like the memory and the word recall. And trust me, it's not so fun at times, like being on YouTube and like doing lives, and when like you have trouble with word recall, like that can be difficult. Oh, thank you, Moss. You're so sweet. Sent sunshine. It's so nice. Joel says they want to get more involved in the future. Yes, I would love that. I would love that. Jeff Sanders says banks never forget my splurges. Yeah, tell me about it. Tell me about it. I had some trouble with that just on this last mixed episode. I was just like, I finally need to buy myself some things that I've been like putting off. Like, I'm finally like buying some clothes and things, and I haven't been buying forever, and I'm wearing clothes from high school still, and I was just like, it's time. I didn't go too far with it, luckily, this time, but I think it was more like when I had full-blown mania that the bank wouldn't forget that. And when I was manic, I don't know if I ever told you guys this, I decided to go to grad school and I didn't finish. And that was an expensive splurge during mania. Oh, thank you, Moss. All right, we're just wrapping up. If you have any final question, but if you don't, that's fine too. Let me see if I just make sure I didn't miss anything. I think I'm good. Thank you for hanging in there and just joining. And I might be doing this next week. Usually I do it every other week, but I might do it next week because then the week after I'm going to be on that trip, on that vacation, and I won't be able to do it. So I might do it next week. We have to figure out. I don't know. I don't know if I can figure out, but Oh, Devin said, last question. What's the longest stretch of euthymia you've ever had? So euthymia is like stability, in case you don't know. But I think, I mean, it's not that long compared to some people. I think 2 years. 2 years is the longest stretch. Yeah. I'd love it to be more, but I do have these hiccups. All right, everyone. Well, thank you so much for coming and for all the super chats and stickers and like little little jewels and all of that is so kind of you. And I really hope that you can join again next time, and I'll put those videos down in the description box that I mentioned, the one about my last Manic episode, and then the one just recently about my French professor and seeing her again. All right. It's been really fun. Thanks again, and I'll see you soon. I'll put out, notifications about the next live. All right. Bye.